Hi, my beautiful rosebuds. Welcome back to the channel. So I received a download from Spirit for you when I was in meditation. I received the download that you are being watched, but not in a creepy way, like your ex keeping an eye on you on your social media. Something a little bit more, I don't know, unique, you could say. So, of course, there's like the usual reasons why people are watching you lately, and I'll say this. The reasons are good, bad, and everything in between. Spirit was flashing 1212, the angel number 1212, in my mind's eye as I was meditating. And it was almost like it was like a neon sign. So I will get into that and the meaning of that and why Spirit brought that number in. But there are some everyday reasons why people are watching you. And like I said, there's some really unique ones that I think you should know about if you're curious to know. So the first reason that Spirit told me that you're being watched is because people are very, very curious about you. They've noticed some changes in you lately, and it's almost like, okay, think of like when a neighbor peeks out and they're looking over and they're being like, they're paying a lot of attention to you. Every time you come home, they're like looking at you and stuff like that. People are naturally curious about you lately. Okay. Especially if you've changed your style recently or your energy or your routine. Another very common reason why people are keeping an eye on you is that you're an inspiration. Okay, so people are inspired by you, by the things that you're doing. You know how you'll see somebody that like loses weight, or maybe they have like a cute haircut or hairstyle or something like that, and you're like, wow, you're an inspiration. Like, I think I want to, look like you, or in some way, shape, or form. It's like people feel like whatever you're doing, they kind of want to do it too. Okay, so there's that. People see you just shining and they wish they could shine like you. Another thing that Spirit is bringing through is that there's a little bit of jealousy, okay, that's coming through as to why people are keeping an eye on you lately. Like, it's almost like when a coworker kind of side-eyes you, okay? Oh, I just saw like an orb go up like that. It caught my eye. I was like, what the heck is that? Literally an orb just went up and over. Anyway, it's like when a coworker kind of gives you like the side eye and they're jealous of you. And you're getting recognition at work and they're just like, like that kind of thing. So, that's what I'm getting. It's like some people are just like, I don't know. They're jealous of you, okay? For whatever it is that you're doing, or for however it is that you are elevating, okay? Because that's the bottom line, is you are elevating. And for some of you, you're going to find out later on in this reading how interesting it is that there's a connection between how you're elevating and why there are not only people watching you here, but other realms are keeping an eye on you too, which is interesting. If you're open to that, stick around. But there's some deeper unexpected reasons as to why you feel like you're being watched, or like you are being, like somebody has their eye on you. Of course, you're glowing, and it has everything to do with this inner activation that you've recently gone through, or that you're currently going through. And also, you have a glow about you, almost like, it kind of gives me like an image of like a pregnant woman, but not saying you're pregnant, but like, you know how they say like pregnant women glow? You have this glow about you that it's like everyone is noticing. But also, people are heavily watching you. There are people who are like protective forces that are heavily watching you. So when I tuned into that, Spirit was showing me like an umbrella, and like there's someone who wants to protect you, or like someone who wants to somebody who's thinking about you. They want to call you. They may think that you're sad, okay? But also there is somebody like on the other side who is like checking in on you, is what I'm getting. And they're being very protective of you, and they are they're there to protect you like a spirit guide. This could be somebody that was like a grandparent that has passed on, or an uncle or an aunt, or even a neighbor or a friend. For some of you, maybe this was like a significant other. Whoever this is, I am sensing it's somebody on the other side who is heavily watching over you, just to make sure that you're doing okay. Okay, kind of like checking in, like when a friend checks in on you to see if you're sad or how you're doing. But literally, you could have somebody here in this realm who is checking on your social media, asking about you. Maybe you don't talk to this person very much, and they're very, very curious as to how you're doing. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Also, what I'm getting to is that the universe, I don't know, it's almost like there could be some surprising like reasons that you feel like that. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like, I was mowing my yard. This was like a few weeks ago, and I felt like I was being watched. And I kept looking over there like, what? Who is that? What is that? And I felt like somebody was like standing there watching me. And it kept happening. Like, you know that feeling like you're being watched? So if you've been getting this feeling, but you look and like nobody's there, it's some kind of like something from the other side. One of the things is that it is, like I said, some kind of like protective force that the universe has sent to you to be like a guide, okay? Like someone who is like an ancestor or a deceased loved one who is protecting you, okay? And that's why they're heavily watching over you. So another thing is that, and this is interesting, oh, wow. Okay. So Spirit wants me to tell you about the other thing that came to me during this. I saw like a moth, and when you zoom in on the moth's eye, there was like what is it called? Like a surveillance camera. And I was like, what on earth is this image? And Spirit said dream collectors. And I was like, what is a dream collector? So certain people, and this could be non-physical entities, like to like watch your dreams, okay? Not really malicious entities, but they want to collect like beautiful data, okay? And so you may wake up remembering very, very detailed cinematic types of dreams that almost feel like very, very vivid, okay? And so dream collectors are, from what my understanding, they are curious to watch what you are dreaming about, but they can only do this like if you are open to it, okay? And if you're not open to it, then they can't do this, okay? But they are curious, they are from like a different realm, and they are not there to harm you. They're observers, okay? And also, and this might sound interesting, but the number 1212, Spirit is showing me this, 1212, again, going back to this. Ones are for new beginnings, and twos is for like harmony and balance. So when you put 1, 2, 1, 2 together, 12, 12, it means your personal goals are coming into alignment with opportunities. So, you're coming into some kind of opportunities, and Spirit is saying that you're being heavily watched to see, like, it's almost like you're being tested, like some kind of like jealousy test to see. It's almost like, okay, kind of like think of it as like the friend who only texts when something good happens to you, just to see if you'll brag or stay humble. That's kind of like a test, okay? So, you are getting some kind of test from the universe. The universe is watching you. Basically, the universe is watching you and nudging you and testing you. And you may have been getting some interesting like tests, like soul tests. And what I heard is that you are passing your soul tests with flying colors. So pat yourself on the back. There are also some copycats that are watching you because they're awfully curious to see what you're doing, because they wish that they can be like you. They may want to try to like claim your power, but that's not going to happen. And they can't duplicate you. So don't worry, don't even worry about that. And and I wonder if this is too why you have so much protection around you at this time. And the reading from yesterday had 444 in it, and it was about being heavily protected. So I'm wondering, you may have watched that reading from yesterday. But wow, that's interesting. So yeah, lately, and going back to like, okay, so the 12-12 thing, your personal goals are coming into alignment with outer opportunities. So like, you're not meeting resistance anymore. Like, things are becoming unstuck, and like you're being tested to see like what you're worth. And it's interesting. It's very interesting. I know I've heard of like that the universe tests us sometimes. The universe wants you to like claim your power and claim who you are and like not be afraid, and to test you to see if you really want this, to test you to see if you'll give up. Okay? And that's why you're being heavily watched by the universe. Here's some actual signs that you may be picking up on. You may feel like you're being watched. You may get some interesting like reactions from animals, like some kind of random dog like locks eyes with you and wags its tail like it knows you. You could be like dreaming about being on stage or being famous. Or people are staring at you in a classroom, or like you walk into somewhere and like all eyes are on you in your dreams. You also like could hear from like old contacts from like many years ago, people just cropping back up into your life or popping back up into your life, or liking a video from like 2 years ago. Yeah, so interesting like social media engagement, you might say. And you could literally be getting some really strange attention in public, like a stranger is just staring at you just a little too long, and it makes you just kind of scratch your head like, what are you doing? Why are you staring at me like that? But these are just little nudges from the universe that almost like you're being watched, okay? But like I said, not in like a creepy way, but the universe is watching you. So basically, protect your vibe, because not all people that are watching you have good intentions for you. It's just as simple as like a simple reminder to lock your house at night, you know, to protect your energy, to protect your vibe. Just visualize a light around you. Be yourself, okay? Don't try to be anyone else. Just be your best self and don't try to be anybody else. And another thing that is coming to me is that it really is time to claim your power and just be like, okay, like if let's say you're trying to be in the spotlight, or you're trying to have a career where you are kind of like in the spotlight, and let's say you have some followers and you'd like more followers, claim your power and say, I don't live for an audience, I live for my soul. And spirit or the universe is testing you to see if you'll claim your power. And also to test your why, like, why are you doing this kind of thing? Like, what's your real reason for doing this? Like, you know what I mean? It makes me think of that Lady Gaga song, I live for the applause, applause, applause. I live for the applause, applause, live for the... Okay, so spirit and the universe is kind of watching you and testing you to see, like, what's in your heart, to be like, you know, like, what's your why, or what's your rationale, what's your reasoning for either wanting to be in the spotlight, if that is something that you're being called to, is like, you know, to step into a position of like where you will be in a, maybe on camera, or it could be in your community, like in some kind of elevated position. Okay, but yeah, so that's what I'm getting. And don't be afraid. You know your why, you know your reasoning, and so step forward and accept your role and what you want, and that's going to help you to move forward. And don't let anything stop you, okay? Just keep going, and you're going to show the universe that, hey, you know what? I mean business. I am not giving up. Okay, nothing is going to hold me back. Okay, and so you may be getting lots of little soul tests because the universe is keeping an eye on you. And there are all kinds of interesting, like, yeah, things going on that you may be interested to know about. Like, okay, speaking of, and this is interesting, Spirit just said, like, I heard inventor. So, like, Spirit is watching you as, like, a seed banker. A seed banker plants seeds. Like, okay, you know how, like, Alexander Graham Bell, was it, that, like, invented the telephone or whatever? And then at the same time, somebody else was inventing the telephone, and they were in two different locations in the world, but, like, the seeds were planted by the universe or by universal forces, whatever verbiage you may use, okay? But, like, the seeds were planted because the idea wanted to come into fruition, into this reality. And so if Alexander Graham Bell wouldn't have hopped on it, somebody else would have. And, you know, and from what I've heard, somebody else did hop on that idea at the same time, but we don't hear about him. But you are being watched because of seed banking, basically, is what Spirit said. And it's interesting because I heard the word inventor in my mind. So strange but true. Watchers are, like, recording any kind of creative spark that you may have. And there's also, like, people, like, not people, but, like, seed bankers. It's kind of hard to explain. That are, it's like, a spiritual force, if you may call it that, or like, you can think of it kind of like angels, or like an angelic force that is giving you ideas, downloads, okay, for great ideas. And there's some interesting entities that are kind of like wanting to interfere, or like recording your sparks of, you know, ideas and inventions, be it ideas, songs, any seeds that would be planted in your future. So this is why it's so important to be very careful with any, like, creative drafts. Don't share until you're ready. Protect the seeds that you get with everything that you got. Like, protect, and don't tell people your ideas, okay? So that's what I'm getting, is that you had some interesting ideas, maybe some inventive ideas that were planted there on purpose by the universe, because the universe feels that you have what it takes to bring these things into fruition. But also there are some enemies or entities. Well, I misspoke, but kind of not. Entities is what I meant to say, that wish to, like, destroy these fruitful ideas. So that's what I'm getting. So 1212, yeah, it's definitely like a gateway number. It's definitely a gateway number. It's telling you that your inner alignment, like it's time, there's going to be some kind of like outer opportunities. Your alignment is basically being broadcast. It's very interesting. Your alignment, the fact that you're in alignment is being broadcast. Like a radio frequency, and people can pick up on this. Okay? And there are beings who are very well aware of like your power and your ability to like, you know, perform and to bring ideas into this world, into this realm. And they are watching you like very, very carefully is what I'm getting. So definitely protect your ideas, okay? Now, okay, this is very interesting. Something that I got too is, and this may sound out there, but there are what is called, from my understanding, in my awareness, timeline auditors. So think of your life like a subway, okay? Like a subway of different timelines. Like even physics tells us that time is not really linear. You know, everything happens at once. And science tells us there's multiverses, and there's so much more than what we actually understand from this physical point of view where we are. But hear me out. If you know, you know, okay, there is such a thing as timeline jumping. It happens all the time, every day, when we make choices. So you are being watched by timeline auditors, okay? Let me try to explain how this works. Is that, like I said, like it's kind of like, you can think of it like a subway of timelines. There are beings who literally like monitor the crossings, people who are about to leap into a new timeline, or those who look like they're almost about to take a leap into a new timeline. They watch you because I just got chills all over my arms and everything. They watch you because your choices create ripple effects to others, and they like to study these ripple effects, and they like to study you, okay? Now, they watch you too because they are very entertained by you, and they don't wish to harm you in any way. They're kind of studying you. That's what I'm getting. Ooh, I got a lot of chills as I'm saying this. Just kind of cascading throughout my arms, like, ooh. Anyway, so they are fascinated by you. And the fact that like you know how to do this, like timeline jump, and there's something special about the way that you do it. Like I said, everyone does this all the time, but you do this very, like, people do it unaware. They're unaware. And so you're doing this with like conscious awareness. You're doing this on purpose with intentionality. And so they're very fascinated by you. Sometimes you might sense like a deja vu, you know, or like you feel like there's like different versions of you out in the ethers. Okay. All of this stuff seems like what, Einstein calls spooky action at a distance. It's all physics. But there are beings that are very, very curious about you and how you can do this. I want to say there's like galactic or like interdimensional watchers as well that are observing you, not in a malicious way, just because they're fascinated, and they like to see that you're carrying certain codes, okay? And 1212 is actually an activation code, is what I just got that from Spirit, that 1212 is an activation code. So they like to watch you because you're very unique. You definitely have some kind of interesting code inside of you. that gives you the ability to be able to like jump timelines, come up with very interesting ideas. And so this is why you're being watched. And I'll get into like more about like how to protect yourself if you don't like this attention and if you don't want to be watched. But there are a lot of beings that are like very fascinated with you. And there are beings who study like, you know, people that are very strong. And you're a strong, I want to say like you're a strong emotional container as well, because especially if you're somebody who is thinking about being in the public eye, they're fascinated by watching you because you're like a rare emotional artifact or something. It's really weird. Think of these beings as like emotional archaeologists. They're fascinated with studying you because they watch people who are very strong vessels that are able to hold so much emotional capacity. And the way you process your feelings, it's so honest and raw and authentic. And it's very attractive to these curious watchers. Like the way that you do this is highly fascinating, I want to say. So these reasons seem weird, yes, but they do explain those weird moments where you know that you feel like somebody's looking at you, even when there's nobody, you know, nearby you, no obvious person. But just treat these like watchers like it's background noise or background radio, you know. They can't change you or affect you unless you hand them the dial, okay? They can't affect you like that. But if you want to harness more of like the good watchers in your life and like deter any bad watchers in your life, be this ethereal watchers or, you know, people, ground and shield for one thing. Ground and shield, ground your energy. There is a tree pose in yoga that is very, very good for grounding. You can actually stand with like your feet apart, shoulder width apart, reach up to the sky with your fingers reached out like this, stretched out like that, and like imagine yourself as a tree reaching up to the sky and also being firmly planted in the ground. And just visualize like roots from your feet going into the earth. And you can even like imagine like a ring of golden light around your auric field. And then say out loud, only the energy that serves my growth may enter. And you can repeat this as many times as you need to, okay? Or just say it once and be done and know that you are protected. There's also like, you can do like a 12-12 ritual if you feel up to it, which it can be any time of day, or it could be at like 12:12 a.m. or 12:12 p.m. And what you would do is light a small candle and speak, I claim alignment. I claim my timing, and I step forward into my best timeline and without fear. Okay? Keep it short. Put all of your emotion behind it, and remember to be so grateful for who you are and how just raw and authentic and special you really are, because this is amazing. I haven't had something like this ever come through in a reading, and I have chills again. And part of like this unique path that you're walking is that it's so rare, and not everybody is going to understand it. So that's why it's also maybe not a great idea to share it with everybody, like what you're going through, because they are not going to understand. All right. But also because you have people that get just very jealous of you. Okay. So be sure to drop a red heart in the comments if this is resonating with you so far. Or you can even claim 1212 in the comments, just to seal the energy, okay? And this is going to be really, really pivotal. So anyways, thank you so much for being here and for just being in this space with me. And I appreciate you all so, so much. Know that you are very, very special. There's really nobody quite like you. There are other people that have a similar energy, but there's nobody quite like you. And this is why these messages are not going to resonate for everybody. But like, you found this for a reason. And so keep shining your beautiful light. You are glowing brighter than ever, my beautiful rosebuds. And yeah, if you like this video, be sure to like it and let me know your thoughts, because I'm very curious to know what your thoughts are, okay? And if you've had any experiences like this, or you feel like you're being watched or anything like that, or if you have any ideas about like more ideas about like protection and things like that, definitely drop it in the comment section. Anyways, love y'all so, so much. I can't wait to see what spirit brings through next time for you all. And thank you so much to all of my beautiful channel members who support the channel financially each month. And thank you to all of you who donate. It is because of your support that I'm able to get different things for the channel. So I appreciate it so, so much. And thank you for your support on my other channel, Mystic Rose Tarot, as well. As many of you know, I have 2 channels. So this one is a collective, and the other one is for like pick a cards and collective readings. And it's got a little bit different feel to it. It's for love readings. But anyway, check out my website for more info on my services if you're curious. It's www.mysticrosepsychic.com. Anyways, love y'all, and I can't wait to see what spirit brings through next time for you. Like I said, bye.